The Prime Minister Anthony Albanese is on his feet in the House of Representatives. Let's have a listen to what he's having to say.
Voted for. In the first speeches of our colleagues, we've already heard the voice of a modern, multicultural Australia, the embrace of diversity, the march to equality that gives our nation, our democracy, greater strength. And all of us, new members and those who've been here a while, know that there is not a day to waste. The challenges facing our economy and our country are significant indeed. The IMF is warning of growing global uncertainty, and rising inflation, confirmed again today, means price pain for households, making it harder for people to get by and buy the things that they need. The government understands that inflation is a challenge for the economy as a whole, and we also know it puts the pressure on those who can least afford it. As the Treasurer has said, things will get worse before they get better, but they will get better, and we will work every day to make sure of that. Mr Speaker, the challenges are significant, and more than that, they are urgent, and we are responding with urgency. This is a government that has hit the ground running. In our first 2 months in office, we moved straight away to back an increase in the minimum wage for 2.8 million workers. And I want to say again to all those Australians, some of the heroes of the pandemic, the people who have kept our economy going, cleaning hospitals, stacking shelves, facing the crisis on the front line. You deserve more than our thanks. You deserve a government that backs your right to fair pay. And if I can go back and channel a much-played conversation I had during the election campaign, do I welcome the 5.2% increase for minimum wage workers? Absolutely. Yeah. We have put, secondly, to the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change already our nationally determined contribution of 43% by 2030. What that does is put Australia on the path to net zero by 2050, and this week we will put that same ambition in legislation to the Parliament of Australia. I say to those continuing to oppose that they should listen to the electorate, because the electorate very clearly has sent a message that they want a government that acts on climate change, that puts in place an energy policy for the country. Thirdly, when floodwaters revisited their devastation on people in southern Queensland and New South Wales, we mobilised the ADF to work alongside state support faster than ever before. But we also got emergency payments moving to families and businesses affected faster than ever before. Fourthly, we've implemented the strongest ever biosecurity measures to protect Australian livestock from the threat of foot and mouth disease. We acted swiftly. The Minister went to Indonesia to deal with the challenges that they're facing, but we also took action right here in Australia, in consultation, of course, and with a position that was supported by the National Farmers Federation and the cattle industry and the livestock industry, while those opposite were busy playing politics. And lastly, through the Quad, through NATO and the Pacific Island Forum, through official visits to Indonesia and France, and through targeted ministerial engagement, we have demonstrated to our neighbours and our partners and our allies that the new government of Australia will be a constructive partner and a trustworthy friend. They don't have to worry about sending us text messages about whether it will appear. We engage in a trustworthy way, one that builds relationships, and we also, of course, made the visit to Ukraine to express our solidarity with the people of Ukraine suffering from the Russian invasion. And now my team are seeking to bring the same energy and urgency and purpose and drive to the work of this parliament. Mr Speaker, the government is determined for this new parliament to work better than the old one. Our behaviour, all of us, is a part of that. We must strive to treat each other with respect and courtesy, to cooperate where it is possible, to disagree in good faith where it is not. Of course, we may not always meet that standard. We serve in an adversarial democracy, and this chamber can be a place for fierce and determined clashes. But we can, each of us, make the contest about ideas, about the things that matter to people and to the country, rather than...
So we'll leave the Prime Minister Anthony Albanese addressing his colleagues there in the House of Representatives, and he is laying out some of the priority areas his government has been working on since its election a couple of months ago.